Hello and welcome to Across the Acres, a Beck's Hybrids podcast, where our goal is to connect, challenge, and inspire each and every one of you by interviewing others who have a story or message to share. I am your host. My name is David Ringer. I'm joined by my faithful companion sidekick and Robin to my Batman, Morgan Fitch.
Hello.
Although, would you prefer to be Batman?
Always.
Okay, so you could be Batman. I'll be Robin.
Always be Batman.
Always be
but
Batman.
you're the bats in this case.
Well, I'm a little bit bat crazy, so at times that's totally explainable. But today, Morgan, we are thrilled. This is Morgan Fitch, by the way, just in case you were wondering.
Hello.
We have I'm going to say this right, Shantel Beck. I said it right?
Yeah. Good morning.
Sort of.
Hi.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous.
Good. Yeah, for some reason, we got into this debate off air, so I'll just bring it to air. But I was mispronouncing your name because I can't read or spell, which is a problem.
Yeah.
So
How
not
are you?
Shantel, but Shantel Beck.
That's correct.
Hey, I got it right, Morgan.
Good
Can
job.
I get a
Good job.
Thank you.
He did it.
I feel good now. I feel like I can finally earn my paycheck, maybe. It's worth a shot. So, Shantel, we're thrilled to have you here today. Thanks for coming on board. Give us a little bit of background. Obviously, Scott Beck is your husband. You knew that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
31 years.
31 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is an unfair question. Does it feel like it's been 31 years?
Some days yes, and some days no.
Amen. That is well said. But a mom and a grandma, you've just got quite the story to share with just your family. So tell us as much as you want to about background, family, anything you want to talk about.
Oh, goodness. Scott and I have 5 children. We have 4 biological and 1 adopted, but we also claim a 6th child. Mm-hmm. She's been living with us for the last 4.5 years. And so we like to say we have 6, but legally we have 5. So
yes,
we have a big family, and we're really excited about that.
So the 5 that you can only deduct on taxes, and you can't even deduct all of them on taxes anymore because they moved out and got married.
Yeah.
But so 3 boys and 3 girls now. Mm-hmm. You've evened the score.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. And one of them, Jordan, just got married. Mm-hmm. Everything went off without a hitch.
Yeah, it was fabulous. It was a dream for her and for me as a mom to be able to plan it with her and enjoy the process. It was a lot of fun, actually. We love Woody, so it just seemed natural the way everything happened, and we're happy for them and excited for their future. So.
Absolutely. And yet at the same time, your 6th child, the newest but not youngest of the family, also gets married.
Yep. So 2 weddings in 2 months. It was kind of
It's a whirlwind.
Yeah, and you survived.
Yeah.
She looks great for going through 2 weddings in 2 months. That's insane. Yeah. Most moms would wilt under that kind of pressure.
Well, I like to plan events, so it's kind of right up my alley. So it was a lot of fun, actually. We really enjoyed it. So
Good. And were both weddings local?
Yeah. One was at the Hangar and one was at the Palomino Ballroom.
Oh, nice.
So,
right next door to each other.
Yep.
That worked out well.
Yep.
Very good. So go ahead, if you would, please name the children from the top to the bottom.
Oh, my
If
goodness.
you can.
So our oldest is Corey. He's here at the business.
Mm-hmm.
Our second is Christopher, and he's also here working in the business. And then we have Jason, who's working in the business. Then we have Jordan, and she lives in Granger. And then she works for me at the well, actually. And then Sierra, and then also Jaden.
Okay.
Granger, right out of Mishawaka area?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
I know that area very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Actually, really, maybe it was a surprise to no one but me, but how pretty that part of Michigan is.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I didn't really pay any attention to just how beautiful and serene it really is. I should have paid more attention when I drove through there, but went up to the well not long ago, and we're going to get to the well in a minute, but that is gorgeous country.
Thank you. Yeah, we enjoy it a lot.
Very nice. Okay, so now that you're a mom of 6, how many grandkids?
3 and 1 to come very soon.
Yes. So, wow. Let's round up. Call it 4. How busy does that make you as a grandma?
Well, as a grandma, not super busy. I mean, both of my daughter-in-laws stay home, so they're home with the babies, and so they don't necessarily need a lot of babysitting, but they're fabulous mommies. They have beautiful babies. They're doing a really great job. I enjoy being with them. I was just with them yesterday, so we got to play peekaboo and, hide and seek and just run around the house, and so it's a lot of fun. So I take every moment that I get with them and enjoy it. So
beautiful. It is fun to watch moms do what moms do really well. And when they raise their kids, and it's a beautiful thing in the Lord, man, just fun to watch.
yeah.
As a grandma, the best part of being grandma.
Oh, getting on the floor and playing with the girls.
Okay.
Soon a grandson, but you know,
Right.
yeah. I really enjoy time with them as much as I can get. So
Good.
yeah.
Any parts that aren't quite as desirable?
As a grandma?
Yeah.
No.
It's all positive.
It's all positive.
Okay, so we've got things to look forward to because raising kids could be kind of tough.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they tell you the grandkid thing is better. Would you agree?
Well, sure. We don't have to really discipline them.
Right. Spoil and return. Aha.
Yeah.
See, Morgan, that's
Yep.
what I'm looking forward to that day. How's that going to work with grand dogs?
I don't know, but I do have a niece and nephew that we spoil
There we go.
so much and then just hand them off. Here you go.
Yeah.
All right. We sugared them up for you.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. We enjoy the niece-nephew, the grandkid relationship. It gives you a way to speak into someone else, but without that direct burden of raising them.
Mm-hmm.
And burden maybe is too strong of a word, but let's just be honest. It's a lot of work to be a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Raising 5 and now 6 kids, what advice would you give the world on what to do, maybe what to avoid? Any thought there?
I would think the best advice I could give is to really tag team with your spouse. Like, it's not an independent job, it's a team effort. And so there's areas where Scott was really strong and I was weak, and there's areas I'm really strong and he's weak. So just learning to accept each other's roles and support each other. And when you go into things together on your decisions, then it makes it a whole lot easier to parent the kids.
Absolutely. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Now, Jaden being adopted, I said that wrong, please forgive. Jaden being adopted, that adventure started when she was how old?
3.
Wow.
Yeah, we brought her home in November of 2009, so she was 3 years 9 months old, basically.
Okay.
So just a little bit under 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did the Lord reveal that to you? What was the process to pray through adopting a child?
Well, I've always wanted to adopt ever since I was young. And so really I was listening to a radio program in the car. I was driving home one day, and they were talking about adoption. And so it really brought it all back into my heart. And I kind of was thinking to myself, like, why am I even thinking this? We have 4 kids. We don't need more kids. But I have a big heart for kids. And so, with Jordan being the youngest and the only girl, I really wanted her to have a sibling. And so I wanted another girl. And so I thought, well, I'll just run this by Scott, But actually, he beat me to the punch, and he brought it up when I got home. And so we talked about it and prayed about it. And then our next step was to talk to our pastor at the time and asked them to be praying with us. And then we spoke with his parents and my parents and just kind of really sought some wisdom, like to make sure it's not just us wanting to do a good thing, but It's really the whole family embracing what we want to do. And everybody was super supportive. And so it made it easier and didn't come without its challenges, but it's been a beautiful experience.
The flight to go pick her up, which would have been how long? Do you remember?
About 8 hours, I think.
Okay.
So not terribly bad.
The first time you get to take her in your arms as yours to bring her home, that had to be pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. And I think Scott would even share with you, if he were sitting here, that one of his greatest moments was when we arrived at the orphanage and she just looked up at him and held her arms out and said, Papa, and came running. So it's from day one, it's been a really cool experience.
What a heart-melting moment. Mm-hmm. My goodness. And what's interesting in talking to Jaden, how she recalls that moment really well, tremendous clarity, and in part perhaps because it is such a monumental moment in her life, but also because how else are you going to forget that. How could you forget that? But the way she talks through that is really neat. It's neat to see her eyes sparkle and talk about the first time she met mom and dad.
Yeah, and it's really cool to give God honor in that whole process because, I worked really diligently on all the paperwork to get the job done. That's what I do. I'm a get her done type girl.
Okay.
And I had submitted all of our dossier documents earlier in the year, and the notary wasn't getting it notarized correctly, which actually is not a cool thing. And I had to go back to the state house 5 times to do it. Ended up missing the deadline to get the papers in. But what I didn't know, and hindsight is always better than foresight, but she would not have been in the system or available if we had done it earlier in the year. So God knew what he was doing, and he knew who the child was that we needed. And so it didn't go through, and we had to wait a little bit extra. And you just have to trust the process of God's timing. So,
and that for me is hard. I'll just admit it.
Yeah,
I struggle with waiting on God.
Yeah.
I'm a get her done guy, so I want to just do it and get it over with. Let's go. I know what I'm supposed to do. Let's do that. And
it was
he's
hard.
got other plans.
Yeah, it was hard, and I was heartbroken, but it was, we got exactly the child God wanted us to have. So.
Amen. You got your daughter.
Yep.
Super cool. And now you got one more, and the house is growing.
Yep.
Busting at the seams.
Busting at the seams.
It's really probably good they don't all live at home.
Yeah, for the first time we're empty nesters, so we're getting used to that whole new adjustment. So yeah, Jaden moved out, and so she has her apartment, and and Sierra lives in Texas. So
wow, and the house then so quiet. I assume Scott's probably not super loud at home unless he's playing his drums.
Yeah, no, he's super quiet.
Yeah. He doesn't strike us as someone who would be super loud.
Yeah.
No. I've never actually heard Scott like really so much as raise his voice yet. So, except when he's yelling at me, which is pretty common, but that's Morgan's fault.
Don't bring me into that.
Yeah, no, it's all your fault. If you think back to when your kids were little, what part of raising kids was something you never wanted to let go of? Like your favorite?
My favorite part of raising kids? Probably all the one-on-one conversations that we shared together, times in the car, times before or after a game, giving them words of encouragement, doing, extra special things with them. I think it's super important to individualize each one of them. And that was probably my favorite part, is just being intentional with who they are individually so that they don't get lost in the shuffle.
Great point. Because 5 kids would be classified maybe as a larger family by today's standards, with 2.1 kids or whatever the average is. And so to individualize that, I like that. Because they are so unique.
Yep.
Every one of them is so different. Did you anticipate 3 of them being back in the business as quickly as they came back to us?
I really didn't. I mean, there was a couple of them that had expressed interest, but I especially didn't expect Corey to, come back. He really had always wanted to be in the sports industry, and he really was headed in that trajectory. I mean, he coached at Purdue, and then he coached at Duke, and so we really thought that when he moved that he probably wouldn't be back, But then within probably about 8 to 10 months, I mean, he was really realizing what he wanted, and that was to have a family and to be around family. And so this meant everything to him to move back and live that life where he could settle down and have a spouse and some kids and just be around family. So
we're glad he's back.
Yeah,
he's
me too.
A great acquisition for the business and just a tremendous asset. We're thrilled he's here. You have, shifting gears a bit, have started a newer adventure. I say newer. How old is The Well?
Actually, we had our first prayer gathering on October 8th of last year.
Okay.
So a year old. Yeah.
Right at a year. And The Well is, tell us what it is. How would you classify it?
How would I classify it? The Well is an adventure that Scott and I decided to step out in faith and believe God as a way to merger both of our passions. So his passion for connecting with our customers and our dealers and our employees is something that he really enjoys and wants to be a bigger part of. And I have a strong passion for ministry, for pastors and lay leaders, as well as men and women, and done a lot of volunteer work. I've been a youth pastor. I've served on mission boards and all of that. And so together we wanted to create a space where we could provide an opportunity for impact, which is like connecting with each other and connecting with God. And so it's a beautiful place, and we get to go hunting and enjoy the property ourselves. That's some of what we do in our downtime, just have some opportunities to enjoy the outdoors. And so, being out on the boat or kayaking or, paddleboarding or whatever that looks like on a fun weekend. But it really gives us our space to call our own. So
that's nice too. And to give a little lay of the land, we've got the main home, which is also like a reception hall slash,
it's what we call the lodge.
The lodge. There we go. That's a good word.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then from the lodge, we've got multiple cabins.
We have a couple of cabins, and then we have 3 or 4 homes. And so, so right now we can accommodate about 30, or so people, as far as overnight guests. But as far as the lodge, we can probably accommodate up to 70.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just a fun little space to gather together and enjoy connections.
The lodge has a great hall, I would call it. When you walk in there, it's so cool. And that fireplace at the end, and oh man, is that a neat room. Mm-hmm. Just special. Wedding, could you have a small wedding there?
We could. It's probably not our specific interest, but we could.
If it serves the mission, great. Mm-hmm. Okay. The idea to have this, though, well, how did you think that up? What brought about that idea?
Well, the last several years I've been thinking about what I'd really like to do as the kids, kind of move out and find their way. And I've always wanted to have a retreat center. So again, I'm very mission minded. And so I'm a visionary, and I'm constantly thinking forward, what can we do next to impact the people around us? And so it was really a cool way for Scott and I to take our strengths that we both share and things that we both enjoy, and invite people into those spaces where they can have a greater connection. So it's more of an adventure, but it's also, really with intention. So
absolutely. Now, Morgan, have you been there?
I have not.
We got to change that. We need a retreat for Across the Acres, probably.
That'd be cool.
Why not?
Yeah.
Can John come or not? I don't even know if he's still here helping, but it looks like he left. Yeah, so we won't let John come.
Nah.
But what I truly enjoyed, I got a chance to go up there with the finance team. And not only do you feel at home, but you have the chance to relax a little, unplug. There's some self-service, but not a ton, which is great. I like that. The home feel, though, how do you cultivate that? You made us feel just right at home so quickly. There's some little things you do that I picked up on, but what do you do intentionally to make it feel at home?
What do I do intentionally? I would say serve people. I mean, I feel like that's why we're there. And so just letting people see me, not as an owner of a business, but really just somebody that's there to serve them and make them feel comfortable and invited into this warm space that just feels like home, and enjoy great conversations. And I don't know, I just work hard at paying attention to the needs and the desires and the, space for them to kick back and relax.
Absolutely. Well, you nail it so beautifully, and this is a perhaps small example of it, but I believe this reaffirms what I'm expressing. When I'm getting ready to leave, Morgan, I got to jump and run all the way to Minnesota from Michigan, so I'm running out the door. Shantel stops me, and she says, "David, aren't you going to have lunch?" And I'm like, "Well, I would, but I got to go." And she's like, "Well, let me pack you just a little to go." I mean, beautiful quesadillas.
Aww.
Yeah. So taking care of me, kicking into mom mode, just, wait a minute, young man, you need lunch.
Right.
So here's a quesadilla, and it was delicious. And but you don't do this alone. You have a staff that helps you. Tell us about your staff.
So we have a property director. His name's Guy Zuck. So he takes care of all of our facilities. And then we have Stacy Zuck is his wife, and she does all of our cooking. So it's homemade, personal favorites. So like if a group's coming in and they request my lasagna, then I cook it. But if they want her mesquite chicken or, another thing, then she'll cook that, or Guy's fried fish, or, whatever the menu selection is, then different ones of us will cook, and then the rest help. So it's very, very much a team effort. We work together a lot, and we've kind of gotten into a rhythm. We kind of know what the flow looks like and how we can, work together to make a fun experience for our guests.
Well, it's very fun. Love it. And the fireplace is just giant and huge, and there's an outdoor fire pit, and there's multiple outdoor fire pits. And the wood stock shed is full. I was raiding that throughout the evening, just stoking the fire. And it was just a great time. While it is beautiful, it's not over the top. It's not like crazy opulent or anything. It still feels homey. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And you guys do that as a family. It's just, we feel at home here. And while it's very nice, our facilities are very nice, they're not crazy, again, over the top.
Extravagant.
Thank you. That's the word. They're not extravagant. It's just very comfortable.
Yeah.
Sufficient, more than sufficient. And I just appreciate that because it feels like home.
Great. I'm glad.
And the well was simply that. And Guy gave us a great boat ride on the pontoon and really decent sized lake right in your backyard.
Yeah, it's 58 acres.
Wow.
Yeah. And the setting is just gorgeous, and there's lots of wildlife, plenty of deer, and now do you turkeys, absolutely. Do you do any harvesting of said animals?
Yes, we do.
And do you personally do it?
Yes.
Okay, you're a deer hunter. Ooh.
I got a turkey. Yeah, I've done bow and gun, and I got a turkey just a few weeks ago.
Congrats.
Yeah. Turkey is not easy to harvest. That's a difficult take. They're a smart animal.
Yeah,
Very smart.
it's a lot of fun, and so and then we also serve those fresh. I mean, we harvest them, and then that's what we serve for the meals. So we use our homegrown beef from here at home, and then we also have the turkey and the venison. So, yeah,
the venison was a secret part of the recipe we had, Morgan, that we won't tell anybody on the finance team about. But it made the lasagna perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so
Makes
good.
chili
I'm so
perfect,
hungry
too.
right now.
Yeah. We are way too close to the noon hour.
I know.
Poor Morgan's dying over here. He's like, I got to eat. Well, the corn crib's calling. We'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll be there
I'll be
soon
there.
enough. For those wanting to start their own adventure, whether that would be a mission-minded retreat center or something else, what advice would you give them?
Trust God. Don't be afraid to step out. Those would be the two biggest things. I mean, I've given a lot of thought and consideration to this, but I would never do it if I didn't feel like God had put it in my heart, and so He was going to bless it. I think sometimes we can jump out ahead of Him and start ventures that kind of end up flattening out and not being successful. It's because we didn't wait on Him long enough, and so I believe in God's timing.
Amen. There is an event space in my hometown started by a good friend of ours, and she started it right before COVID hit. Oof. So you can imagine. However, she started it because God told her to. And throughout all of the downturn during that time frame, she said, I still don't understand why. And she kept asking that question over and over. Now it's becoming very apparent why God wanted her to start an event space, and she's very busy. Not that she's raking in the dough or anything, but they're able to be sustainable, and she's finding fulfillment in it through what God is calling her, who God is calling her to serve. And that's very much aligns with what you're going through right now. And God is going to have you serve people. We don't even know who, all the who of it, but God's got a plan.
Yeah. I'm excited. We had a great women's retreat this last weekend from a group out of Holland, Michigan, and didn't really know them or anything, but it was a fantastic weekend and really got to talk to them about our personal journey to the well and that whole adventure, and then asking them, what's your journey been like to get here, and what are you hoping to receive while you're here? And so then just being able to connect on a fun spiritual level with them was my heart's desire. So it's fun watching it all unfold.
Yes. Love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
Now, we're only a year in. However, any dreams of expansion or major changes to the well, or do you like it the way you've got it?
We've made quite a few changes already, but we are getting ready to start a building project out in one of the barns. We're building a welcome center so that when the guests and visitors come and pull into the parking lot, they'll see a welcome center right in front of them where we can give them all the map of the property, all the information, and then from there they'll take their bags to their rooms, and then they'll meet in the lodge for a welcome. And I usually do the welcome and introduce our staff as a way for them to connect with me and with Scott. Even though he can't be present, I'm very intentional about letting people know that it was both of our hearts together that made this happen. So
yes, and you do that really well. And that's important because two halves of a whole, even though he's not present, two have been married for 31 years. So it's, man, amazing. Then going forward, 10 years from now, what would you want the well to look like? Different from today or just more of the same?
I think different in the sense as more guests come and hear about what we're doing, I think expanding that, it will grow and become much bigger. But I think the most important thing for me, for people to hear, is that the mission behind the well is the why, which is to honor God, bring people closer together with Him and with each other, and create a safe space for people that need health and healing in their life, spiritually. But our corporate retreats are fantastic too, and that helps us be able to do some of the ministry that we want to do, because sometimes churches can't afford these retreats and that kind of thing. And so by doing corporate retreats, we can help underwrite some of the spiritual aspects. So
that's really cool.
So in a sense, everybody that comes really is playing into the spiritual life of the well as well. So.
Absolutely. And paying it forward in one way or another.
Yep.
That's really neat. What another mission to a mission. Mm-hmm. The ripple effect that God can do, the multiplication God can do that I can't, because I can't spell or do math. As we think then back over this first year, what has God really taught you about maybe you, maybe others, anything lasting?
I would say the biggest thing that He's taught me, and I'm still learning, is just to wait, to really listen and wait. Because I'm a doer, like we talked about before, and so it's really easy for me to get out in front of Him and just to hold my breath and be like, and then let it out and just trust Him. Like, He's got this, and I'm not going to move forward until I'm very clear that He's told me to move forward. So.
Patience. I'm working on that one.
Yeah,
it doesn't come easy.
No, it doesn't.
My goodness. A wise man once taught me, though, that the only time in the Bible the words hurry up are used is when Jesus told Judas to hurry up and get it over with, to betray him and be done with it. That was the only time. Other than that, it's wait on the Lord, and He will renew your strength, and be patient on God. We're just running. As a society, we are running. We are in sixth gear all the time. And to sit back and wait and be patient, as you have learned here, is
good for you.
Yeah.
And to create space where people, even like yourselves, can come to a place like the well and take that deep breath and still work, but learn to relax and sit in a moment instead of just hurrying through that fast pace, day.
Yeah.
That's a great point. And that's how we felt. You hit the mark with our group up there, and it was interesting to watch them relax, and how you arrive is not how you leave. That's what we're after.
Great.
Yeah. Anything on the must-to-do list for 2025, whether well-related or family-related or just Shantel-related?
I would say my must-to-do list is probably to spend more time with Scott. Connecting, learning to have fun, continuing to learn to have more fun, and this year I'll celebrate a special mile marker with him. He'll be 60. And so trying to come up with some plans for making that special for him. So,
okay. Surprise birthday party would probably not be his favorite thing to do, would it?
No, I've got a few things in mind. So.
Okay, good. I like it. Keep him on his toes.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that in 31 years, that's been a part of your job, is to keep Scott on his toes a little bit, just to keep him young?
Yeah, probably.
Ground him a bit, maybe?
Yeah.
Because when you're running a huge corporation, that's got to be extremely exhausting for him.
Yeah, it is. It's a fun, cool, family, faith-based business, but like everybody else, he's human and he needs a reprieve. So just learning to work together at creating space where we can have fun. So
good. Make him laugh. Every now and then we just need to laugh.
Yeah.
It's very healthy. Morgan, what have I missed? I feel like I've missed something.
Where in Michigan is it? Since everybody I know from Michigan is always like, oh, it's here. It's here.
You might be asking the wrong person as far as a map.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but it's in Grand Junction, so it's just east of South Haven.
Okay.
You know, so it's only like 25 minutes from a beach, so
That's nice.
It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it has a lot of things right there close.
Yeah.
So
Sounds perfect.
yeah,
Middle of nowhere, but close enough to everywhere.
Yeah,
It's really
that's
a
a good way
great
to put it. There you go.
location.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was easy to get to, and the last 4 or 5 miles, you feel like you're venturing into the wilderness.
yeah.
But it's not until that last 4 or 5 miles, which
Yeah.
is really nice.
Well, we're nestled on 600 acres, so there's a
man.
lot of woods all around and the
Yeah.
lake, you know, the lake and everything. So it's very, very private, but yet it's close enough that you can go and enjoy a dinner out or do other things too. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Is there a restaurant we should go to nearby? Is there a favorite place you've found?
In South Haven, I love Tello's.
Okay.
It's Italian. Took one of the business groups up there. Actually, I think one of the very first ones with Andy Andrews was up there at Tello's. We had dinner together. And so, yeah, it's great. It's right downtown. So,
Which South Haven, very neat town. Mm-hmm. Really cool beach community.
yep. Yeah.
Okay, then last question I have is, do you have a quote or verse or saying that you have as a mantra right now?
It seems like there's 2 words that come to mind in most of the steps I've taken in faith and trust in God, and that's opportunity and impact. So I'm very intentional about every opportunity that God gives me to find a way to impact the people around me. So my wheels are constantly spinning on what I can do to make a difference for God. And so those are the 2 words that seem to always come up in my story. And I'm pretty intentional about trying to find those ways to honor God. So
I love that. I wrote that down. That was write down worthy, Morgan.
Yeah, that was really good.
I'll email it to you. That way
Thank
you don't forget. I got you. Anything we missed, Shantel, that you'd like to share with the group?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that you've covered most everything.
Okay, good deal. That's the goal. That's the effort. Within 30-minute window, it's hard to encapsulate 54
Pretty
years
painless.
of life, but
Pretty painless.
Pretty painless.
All right.
good. Yeah.
That's a plus.
It's always a little bit unsettling to
yeah.
interview the boss's wife.
Yeah.
You really don't want to mess that up, you know. Could go very poorly for Morgan and I. It's been great working with you, bud.
Hey, you too, pal.
Yeah. Well, before we let you go, we're not going to let you off the hook without the Fun Fast 5, if you're prepared.
Fun, fast 5.
I don't know these questions, just so you know.
Just either ors, and you get to
Okay.
pick one or the other. You can't pick them both unless you really want to. We'll let you pick them
Okay.
both. We're actually quite soft on these, but if you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Very good. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Very good. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
How do you take the coffee then?
French vanilla creamer.
There you go.
Ooh. Like mostly French vanilla cream or mostly coffee?
Half and half.
Oh, there. Very good. Oh, I like it. Sporting event or concert?
Sporting event.
Preferably watching the kids or grandkids play? Or Purdue?
When they get older, preferably the grandkids. But
bet.
for now, Purdue.
Okay. Boiler up.
Yeah.
Casual or formal?
Casual.
And then last but not least, stay in place or see the world.
See the world, but I like to be intentional when I'm staying in place. So.
You bet. Okay, then I do have one last question. Then, if you have one more spot to visit in this world, where is it that you haven't been that you want to see?
Israel.
Good answer.
And why Israel?
I just love the Lord, and so I would just love to see where he walked and where he spent his days. I don't know. I've just been fascinated by it. Scott's been a couple times. I haven't quite gotten to go yet, but
Yes.
but someday, yeah.
I want to, for sure, the Garden of Gethsemane, Calvary, obviously, and then the wall, the Wailing Wall, the 3 on my list in Israel.
Yeah.
But there's something about looking back over the Eastern Gate from the garden and just imagining Christ on that evening going through all that he went through for us.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Shantel, it has been a joy.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Been a
Been fun.
blast.
yes.
Thank you.
And please tell others it's not nearly as nerve-wracking as they think. Because occasionally we get, I don't think I want to be on that because it's scary. And I don't think we're scary.
I don't think so.
No.
We try not to be.
Yeah.
It's not our goal.
Oh, pretty
Sure.
relaxed.
Hey.
Good.
All
Good,
right.
good. That's the
Thank
goal.
you.
But if we do want to, record an episode at the well,
Oh, that'd be amazing. I would love it.
Yeah, that'd be
that's
fun.
how we get Morgan up there.
That'd
Yeah.
be fun.
And we'll need to be there a whole week to do recon.
Oh yeah, and we will fill you up. You'll have the best food you've ever had.
See, I'm thinking. Yep.
I'm so hungry right now.
And with that, we better conclude our episode. Thank you for joining us on Across the Acres, where it's our goal to connect, challenge, and inspire. Please join us next time. We journey through another interview. And if you would please, 5-star rating and review on the podcast provider of your choice. And until next time, we'll catch you across the acres.